Ninjago has had an eventful 15 years, to put it lightly. There has been a lot that has gone on over the course of time, ranging from relatively tame low-stakes instances to just completely mental moments that are just outright insane when you just think about it in any capacity. And whilst a lot of them are remembered, a lot of them have definitely taken their place within Ninjago's history, it feels like there is a whole load of moments in Ninjago that just went by the wayside that are by all accounts just insane. So many moments that have just fallen by the wayside, but when you think about it for just a moment, you think, wait, that came from Ninjago? So I thought for today's video, I would compile 10 moments from Ninjago that are just outright insane, that just doesn't really get talked about enough. They're in no particular order because they're all just crazy in my opinion, but the thing is that all of them are definitely worth note because people just don't speak about these instances enough. So I want to shed some light on Ninjago's more crazy moments and see what you guys think. And also ask you, what are some crazy moments from Ninjago that you feel like are not discussed enough? But let me not waste any more of your time, and let's talk about the most insane moments of Ninjago that were forgotten. The first moment we are going to talk about is coming from the very first season of Ninjago, and this is going to be the fact that Pythor is a cannibal. This was confirmed by the fact that he is the only remaining survivor when it does come to the Anachondrite tomb. And the thing is that we actually get depiction of him being hungry after spending 40 years just essentially eating his own people. This is something that never gets brought up again, not something that we actually get to see happen again, and it's just something that I feel like is not really acknowledged enough. Pythor being a cannibal feels like it should be something that is more important, and definitely could have made him one of the darkest villains within Ninjago. Imagine if, when he had control of the Serpentine in season 1, he was secretly eating them. That would have been a crazy plot point, and definitely would have been too dark for Ninjago at that time, but I definitely do think in retrospect it could have been a plot that would have been interesting. It would have contributed to this idea that the Serpentine now hate Pythor, they want nothing to do with him. It really would have solidified it, and I do think it would have been fairly interesting to see. But like I said, they just simply never did anything more with it. However, I will say, regardless, this feels like it's something that is never brought up anymore, and Pythor being as beloved as he is, I'm honestly shocked that that is the case. But it's definitely the first surprising moment in my opinion, and definitely one that does need to be discussed more. Because what you mean he's eating snakes? The second insane moment that we have got is coming from Possession, and this is the fact that in Cloud Kingdom there is an ape-like, hound-adjacent type creature that is just residing within that kingdom that we know basically nothing about and was dropped after its very first episode. The fact is that we know nothing about what Nimbus actually is. All we know is that there seems to be electricity running through him. So is he a robot? Does he have some form of static electricity? Has he got some form of elemental lightning? We really do not know. All we know is that Nimbus was just around and not anymore. It's never been mentioned in Dragon's Rising, it's never been mentioned in any capacity when it does come to the Cloud Kingdom anymore. I think it was mentioned briefly in the Splinter of the Blind Man's Eye, but that is not really much into comparison on what this thing actually is. There is no explanation on what Nimbus is, and he's just being dropped by all accordance. This thing that was taken on all 4 ninja is just somewhere. We don't know the answer, but all we do know is that the existence of this thing is genuinely mental. I really hope we get some answers, and I hope people start discussing this thing again, because I want to know what was actually going on there. But yeah, certainly an insane one at that. Our third one is going to be coming from Season 11. With the release of the Preeminent unintentionally by Wu and Pixel trying to get to the Netherrealm, we get to witness an episode where Pixel builds a super mech-like thing, a just massive behemoth of machinery that is able to take on the embodiment of a realm, a god, a queen by all accounts, something that is way beyond the pay grade when it does come to Pixel, something that will had an entire season based around it. The thing is that the Preeminent is something that is relatively unanswered but also not. But the thing is that Pixel was basically able to take her down over lunch. It is crazy to think that this thing that was a huge plot point when it does come to earlier seasons, and like I said, is the embodiment of something much bigger, ninja was taken down so easily. And again, it's not something that is ever brought up again. Pixel never brings up the fact that she took down the Preeminent. She never brings up this as a feat. And funnily enough, it makes you find it even funnier when people question how she was able to take on Zarkt. I mean, she took down the Preeminent. I'm sure she can handle one of the Forbidden Five at that point. But again, this is just one of those things that is just completely dropped and no one acknowledges anymore. How was Pixel able to build something that took down a realm? Going into number 4, we're going to be sticking on the topic of realms, and that is the fact that Nia basically single-handedly took down 2 of the realms within the show. She took down the Cursed Realm in Season 5, and by extension, Ninjago in Season 6. She is responsible for taking down 2 pillars of what is Ninjago's very foundation, the very base and the formation of what we actually know itself. Nia just took care of it. We don't have this again brought up, and we've never again seen a feat of taking down an entire realm, I guess apart from Pixel, but the thing is that these feats are just again gone completely unnoticed, and this was in her first outing when it does come to a ninja. She only just unlocked her true potential, and she took down a realm. I know obviously there's the whole caveat of, well, water is weak when it does come to Ghost and the Preeminent, but I don't think that is honestly the biggest thing of all. She was able to resist water when the Preeminent walked into the sea, so Nia actually taking care of a realm single-handedly is still an extremely impressive feat. How did she do 2 realms in the space of her first outing? The 5th insane moment is the simple fact of the Harumi twist of her being the quiet one in Season 8 was completely ruined by the fact that the show's production product animations were leaked or revealed before the season actually dropped. If you don't remember, the Temple of Resurrection set product animation video actually showed the ninja fighting both Hutchins and also Harumi. Now the thing is that obviously that is to an extent incorrect because Hutchins was never against the ninja, unless it was scrapped at some point whilst the animation was being made. But the thing is that taking on Harumi in particular, or the ninja taking them on, is a dead giveaway of what is actually happening when it does come to this set. There is no other way around it. We've never seen a product animation ever get anything like that wrong. So it's very clear that they knew exactly what Harumi's role in the season was when they were making that animation. So by all accounts, one of the biggest twists that does happen when it does come to Ninjago was shown in a product animation. Again, how is that not remembered? And again, it's interesting because it never happens again, because I think they learned their lesson. Again, I don't understand how something like this can just occur. Our 6th moment to talk about is going to be coming from Season 2, when the ninja were trying to escape from the Stone Army after rescuing Zane's Falcon. In a last-ditch effort as the bridge was collapsing, they used their ninja hoods as parachutes. What? How is it that that was actually able to be done? Of course, I understand the science behind it, but the thing is that the ninja utilizing their ninja hoods as parachutes is something that has never been brought up before, or has never been brought up since. There have been plenty of moments within the show where the ninja could have used their hood as a parachute, but they don't. They only use it in this moment, and it seems to be forgotten about beyond it. And it's not like it's trying to be subtly referenced. Zane says it verbatim. He quite literally says, use your hood as a parachute in the scene. So we just see the ninja do this very unique, very strange thing, and never again. If you think about the fact that that happens in context of literally every other time the ninja has fallen and you think that they're going to die or something, you realize that it's completely inconsequential because they've gotten out of it before, basically using the exact same methods. I don't understand how this has just completely vanished when it comes to the Ninjago knowledge. How is it that the ninja do this once and never again? Our 7th plot point is going to be coming from Prime Empire, and that is the simple fact that Jay was doing a Fortnite dance in the game. Now, of course, in modern day, this may not be as insane when you think about the fact that obviously the ninja are now in Fortnite. We actually have them in there fully playable, which is still very fun, and I still actively use those skins to this day. But anyways, what's actually crazy about it is that you have to take into account that Jay did this within the universe itself. So So does that mean Fortnite actually exists in the universe? Does that mean it's a product of Prime Empire? Why does Jay know how to do the dance? We really do not know anything about it. But when you actually just think about it beyond just a simple bit and a reference, you realize that this makes Fortnite technically canon to Ninjago. Is it just something that you can play separately? Have the ninja been actively playing Fortnite? Do they complete the battle pass? There's so many questions that just come from this one simple moment. Of course, you can, like I say, knock it down to the fact that it was in Prime Empire, but I just think it's a bit crazy regardless. This is definitely the most nitpicky one of the bunch though, because it is just a simple little funny nod. But the thing is that still regardless of it, every single time I see it, it is very much a called out moment for me, because I acknowledge what it is, and I acknowledge the implications, and I can't unsee it, and people just kind of moved on from it. Our 8th moment that is just literally is insane is just simply down to the fact that how are the ninja allowed to have as many bounties as they have had over the course of the years? It is not a simple case of they get a ship, people know them for that ship, and that is it. They are constantly getting new ships, whether it's through the city or through other people or building it themselves, and all of these just destroyed bounties are just left behind by all accounts. It seems to be that every single time the ninja have destroyed a bounty, they just kind of are allowed to get away with having another one. If you crash your car in real life too many times, at some point you're gonna lose your license. But the thing is that the ninja destroy it in Season 1, in Season 2, in Season 7, in Season 8, in Season 13, in Dragon's Rising, again in Dragon's Rising. They keep destroying this boat, and they just keep getting away with it. The ninja just declaring that different people were driving the boat at different times, so they just distribute the blame of all the bounties? Who knows? But all I know is that how are they allowed to continue having a bounty after how many times they've probably landed it on someone's building? Our 9th most insane moment from Ninjago is just simply the love triangle. This is a kids show at the end of the day, and especially during that time it was. But the thing is that we have a multi-season long plot point that involves 2 of the main ninja and a Samurai X ninja-to-be and main character sister just completely involved in this really weird entanglement that defined their characters during the time and to this very day. The fact that we get multiple episodes and moments and screen time dedicated to the fact that both Cole and Jay didn't like each other because they both wanted Nia, and Nia was also indulgent in that plot is just quite simply insane to me. How is it that this is something that was just happening? This stemmed into, like I said, Season 4, Season 5, Season 6. It's genuinely insane that this is just something that just carried on, because I can list those few seasons and it may just seem like a very short footnote in comparison to the nearly 20 seasons that we have. But the thing is that when I say those seasons, we are looking at 3 years worth of content. For 3 years, there was a love triangle arc. That is just mental. How is it that that was just allowed to happen? We don't know. Thankfully it's gone and people don't like that plot point to this very day, but it's crazy that this happened for so long. But none of them are as insane as the 10th one I want to mention today. Coming from the Ice chapter, Zane quite literally causes the near enough extinction of an entire species. He is responsible for the genocide of the Yeti people. He is single-handedly responsible for hundreds if not thousands of lives. These intelligent beings that just wanted to essentially exist were wiped out clean by Zane, and it's never mentioned at all when you actually look at Ninjago as a wider scope. This goes into what ultimately should have been done with the Ice Emperor plotline anyways, but why is it that Zane doesn't have any sort of trauma? Why does he not remember these moments? Why are these things that are never brought up and never affected Zane's psyche? This is genuinely one of the most insane things that happened when you think about it, and it's barely been mentioned. It's a side conversation of a scene, and that is basically it. It is mental to think that Zane is responsible for something so devastating, and no one cares. It genuinely blows my mind. And obviously we've got other characters that are also responsible for a mass amount of people losing their lives. But the thing is that this feels like the craziest one of all, and also the least talked about of them all. So that is, in my opinion, the last and potentially the most insane moment we've ever had when it does come to this show. But those are the 10 moments I wanted to bring to you guys today, and I want to know, are these moments that you remember? Are these moments that you still think about? Are these moments you wish actually had some sort of stake that does come to the Ninjago continuity? I'd love to know what you think, because I'm genuinely shocked that these are things that aren't discussed more. And if you want more dedicated videos on these moments and their implications, please let me know in the comments down below. Any excuse to talk about these crazy moments, I will take and I will run. But I do think apart from that, like I said at the beginning of the video, I would love to know what your guys' insane moments are from the show that you don't think are mentioned enough. I would love to know what your guys' input is, because genuinely Ninjago is a home of so many insane things that we just don't think about. And I kind of want to just shed some light on these crazier instances. But thank you very much for watching the video, and I do hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider subscribing. I love discussing Ninjago with more people. And if you do want to support the channel any further, which you do not have to, you could always become a channel member and join the legends that you see on screen. Each of your support means the absolute world to me, and I truly cannot thank you enough. But like I said, that's about it for today, and take care. Okay,